Hey folks, welcome to PlayBranson, the show where you get to know Branson's entertainers better. I'm your host, Chris Meyer, and today's episode is brought to you by iBranson.com, where you can find the latest Branson show schedules and attraction info. Be sure to go to iBranson.com. On today's show, we have Jak Knudsen with the group Six. I'm looking forward to talking with Jak. You know, it's been several years since he's been on the show, and Jak is an incredible entertainer. You know, fall is just about gone, and guess what? Ozark Mountain Christmas is right around the corner. Now you have until October 28th to go to the Harvest Festival out at Silver Dollar City to see their crafts and the pumpkins in the night, and then Branson kicks off Ozark Mountain Christmas on November 1st, with Silver Dollar City opening on November 4th. Now, if you've never been to Branson for Christmas, you're missing a winter wonderland with Christmas shows and Christmas light drive-thrus. So you need to come check out Ozark Mountain Christmas. Hey, we'll be right back with Jak Knudsen on PlayBranson.
There are so many things to do in Branson. You need help planning and booking all your fun. You need iBranson.com. You can find everything Branson has to offer from your computer, tablet, or cell phone. You can even buy tickets online or talk to one of their friendly Branson travel specialists. There's no sales pitches, no delivery fees, no service fees, and no waiting. It's fast and easy. Find your fun at iBranson.com. Do it all online or call 877-ENTERTAIN. That's 877-368-3782. iBranson.com.
Hey folks, welcome back to PlayBranson, and on today's show, I have the one and only Jak Knudsen with Six. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Chris. Welcome. Thank you. Well, yeah, welcome me. Welcome myself, but no, thank you for having me.
Yeah, I think this may actually be your third time on the show.
I think you're right.
So, but it's been a couple of years.
It's been a minute.
Yeah. So we try to get through all the Six brothers. Although there's a couple I never have interviewed.
They're very camera shy.
They don't always do that. So, Anyway. We're going to talk about the show Six in a little bit, but you guys have a great history, and maybe there's somebody out there watching that doesn't know the history of Six. So take us way back.
Well, it really starts back to when, gosh, I was probably 6 or 7, and we had, my parents had started having all these boys, and
10,
yeah,
to be exact.
But back then, we probably had 7.
Okay.
They were still working on it. But I remember we had to get ready for a church Christmas program. And so I guess our family had been volunteered to work up a musical number. So it was O Little Town of Bethlehem. And so our dad taught us, it was 3 parts, and then accompanied us on the piano. And that was our first probably public performance, and I want to say that was 73.
Okay, that's quite a while ago.
Yeah, I know I don't look that old, but so a couple years after that, he decided to go hardcore on us and just ruin our summer, and so we started learning like hymns out of the hymn book so we could start singing in church, I guess. And apparently at funerals. I think we were known as the Funeral Brothers for a while.
That's funny.
Everybody just wanted us, these cute little boys, to sing at their funeral, which was weird. I saw a lot of dead bodies by the time I was 12. Oh, they used to have, that used to be more of a thing, open casket viewings and stuff. So we just ended up always seeing dead people. But anyway, sorry. But so we got started at that, and then it kind of branched out. Well, we got to start learning some more entertaining things because the Lions Club wants us to come perform for them and sing a couple songs. So we learned Mame, Bye Bye Blues, Tenderly, just these old classic songs that our dad would teach us from the piano. He'd play out our part one by one on the piano until we got it, and then I think we hooked up with a guy that would play Santa Claus for the Osmonds every Christmas, and he was a local radio DJ as well. So he had us. He wanted to do something special for George and Olive Osmond, and so he brought in this magic camera to, it's like, I'm going to take you guys up back in time to when you first started, your kids first started.
Mm-hmm.
So he started calling out the names, and we'd come, we were in this little side kitchen. They were in this like hotel, what would you call that? Kind of a banquet room or whatever.
Okay.
And I remember coming out and standing right in front of Jay, and I was like, oh gosh, I'd never been nervous before, really, but I was then, and we just did our thing, and then they had us on their show a few months later. That was in 1978, and then we started. Nothing really ever came of that. We went on tour that summer out to California. A few people recognized us from the TV show, but I mean, it was whatever. we mainly started doing a lot of barbershop, and then kind of trying to do a little bit of variety, and we started doing fairs and those kind of venues for a while, and then we competed in the barbershop world for a little bit as young adolescents. Did pretty well against these adult men, and then we.
So at that point in your life, you're like, I want to make this a career, or you're like, I'm just doing this because this is part of the family thing to do?
Well, it was a little bit of that, but our dad, he legitimately just, stepped away after a few years and just said, I'm done teaching boys how to sing. And we kept going, and I think a lot of it kept going because there was a momentum. We had gigs lined up to do that we had to fulfill, so that's probably one reason why we kept going back then is we had to fulfill those obligations. Plus the money wasn't bad in high school. I was making a pretty decent part-time living compared to like other kids working at like fast food places. I'd just go out of state, do a gig on the weekend, and come back with, back then we made about $800 a show. That was pretty decent money for.
Yeah. Now it says here in high school you also did acting.
I did.
And so I when I read that, I was like, oh, now I know where Jak gets it on stage, because like you're kind of extreme on stage. I mean, I don't know, how would you describe it? Is that a good word or not?
Well, it's probably an extreme exaggeration of my real personality.
Yeah.
I'll engage with people, and I like to be sassy with people sometimes. I like to make people laugh, and I like to make people smile, and I've always tried to leave people in a better place.
Yeah. When
I come in contact with them, and if I can do that with a little wisecrack or a joke or something, just something to make them laugh or smile, that's fine. Got in a lot of trouble in school. Suspension, in school suspension. That was my favorite subject.
Now it says that you also were in several rock bands, including a hardcore punk band. Now, was that all in high school?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we actually opened for a punk band called Black Flag.
I've heard of that.
Punk fans, so you know who Black Flag is.
Yeah.
If you don't know who Black, then you really don't know punk, and you're not as punk as you think you are. But they were hardcore punk. We got to open for them. Our band was called the Teenage Vandals. So we literally would do a punk gig on one weekend, and then the next gig we would be out of state somewhere doing a barbershop gig.
And I tell you, we're going to talk about the show in the next segment, but the segment you have in your show, it all makes sense to me now after knowing all this, and we'll talk about that in the next episode or the next section. But okay, so you're doing this. Take us to California, because that's in kind of the direction there.
So at that time we were in Arizona, and we were kind of at a crossroads, because we had kind of exhausted the whole barbershop thing. We're kind of getting sick of it, as teenagers, like it's barbershop. Wanted a little more out of life, so we went out to California, and we were inspired by some friends of ours who were actually playing on the streets, and from that they'd get a lot of private parties that were actually decent paying gigs, like up in Hollywood and stuff. And sometimes they did okay, like street singing, street performing. you know, they'd go up to, like, you know, you just go out to the nicer theaters and set up for when they get out. And as soon as the people start coming out, we would just lay out some tunes and did okay. Made enough money to make enough money to eat for the week. But we'd pass out our business cards, and we started doing a lot of Hollywood parties. As we were certainly a very easy group to bring in. Just at that time, there was 4 of us and 4 vocalists. So and we didn't have any music. We didn't have any instruments to bring in. It was just like drop in and, you know, do 20, 30 minutes of just doo-wop stuff and collect our money and go home. So that was a lot of fun. It got us in a lot of doors. Met with I don't know, Stuart Schleslow. He was a big producer. Joel Silber. Got to rub shoulders with a lot of those people. Or, you know, you're sitting at a party and there's Warren Beatty and sitting right there. You could reach out and touch him. Clint Eastwood, Arnold Schwarzenegger, all those people back in the '80s. That's who was the big movie stars. But
and then from there, did you guys go to Vegas?
Not quite yet. We
Okay.
in while we were in California, we got our foot in the door in the corporate world. Back in the late '80s and '90s, that whole market was flying high because they had a lot of money to wine and dine and spend money on, you know, these big corporate events to, you know, hype their own people. I know they still do it, but for an act like us, it was fairly unique. There wasn't a whole lot of a cappella groups doing it, and they loved how easy we were to bring in. There's very little backline, and it was pretty darn lucrative for the day. I mean, you're in and out. You do a 30-minute set, and, you know, collect your check and go home. They pay for your airfare, your hotel, your room service, everything, and you're just in and out. It was nice.
Okay. I tell you what, we're going to stop right here, and we're going to come back in just a second. So, folks, hang tight. We'll be back in just a minute.
Going to Branson for some relaxation and fun? You've got to stay with Branson's award-winning hotel family, Meyer Hotels. Meyer Hotels features 5 hotels in Branson with the best locations for your trip. Choose from brands you know and trust, like the Holiday Inn Express on Green Mountain Drive, the Best Western Music Capital Inn, the Best Western Centerpoint Inn, Comfort Inn at Thousand Hills, and the Comfort Inn and Suites. Enjoy refreshing indoor pools and hot tubs. Do you like free? How about a free hot breakfast each morning? Free vacation planning services, and of course, smiles are always free. Want even more value? Go to MeyerHospitality.com and join our e-club to save 15% off your next stay and check out incredible deals with our vacation packages. Call 1-877-FUN-STAY to book Branson's award-winning hotels or visit MeyerHospitality.com. It's your safe choice for award-winning lodging in Branson. MeyerHospitality.com.
Hey folks, welcome back to PlayBranson. We're talking with Jak Knudsen with the group 6. And Jack, we're talking, you guys have been in California, you're playing a lot of corporate gigs, doing pretty darn well. Take us from there. What happened?
Did a few clubs out there as well. Well, we got into doing cruises on Royal Caribbean Cruise Line. We did that for about 9 years, and somewhere along that line, well, 9/11 happened while we were in St. Thomas when that happened, and we could not get home. We were supposed to get off the ship the next day, or 2 days after that. I think that happened on a Monday, and we were supposed to go home on Wednesday, but all the flights were canceled that week, if you remember. And we had a gig in Salt Lake at the Delta Center. It was Friday and Saturday. We had to miss Friday night because we couldn't get out of there till Saturday morning. We couldn't fly till Saturday morning. But that experience was really, really disturbing to not be able to come home and feeling so vulnerable. So that's when we set out a plan. Let's go to Vegas, because people kept saying, "You guys got to go to Vegas. You belong in Vegas." Yeah, I'll just wave a magic wand and we'll go. But it required a lot of work and investment, and we finally did get there in the end of 2003, and started playing there for a little bit, and played at the Aladdin when it was the Aladdin. Now it's Planet Hollywood, at the Inside Passage Theater, and then went to the Lady Luck. Seemed to be probably kind of a step down from where we were playing, but it is what it is. And we weren't looking to come to Branson at all. And we were out on a cruise ship. We were doing a cruise in Alaska, and our producer called us. He said, "Hey guys, hey, hear me out. Don't laugh. Branson, what do you think?" We're like, "Heard of it."
You've never been there.
Never. Well, we'd stopped
been?
in. We'd stopped in like in '98 just to see what it was all about, and just
Okay.
it looked like a lot of go-karts. And I remember seeing a couple of the, ride the ducks things rolling around, and just didn't know anything about the town. Just the outside of Branson, the reputation is where all the old people go. But we thought, okay, so we started working on this show with our producer to come here, and then the theater that we were wanting to go into didn't seem to be panning out, so we just came here by ourselves and showcased at the Hughes Brothers. Lynn had met the Hughes
Right.
A couple months earlier, just coming through here, and it started off as kind of a yuck joke type of conversation too, because their brothers were brothers and we'd heard of each other, but one thing led to another, and we came out here in August of 2006, did a showcase. It went really well, so we just said, all right, let's do it. We're going to move everything from Vegas to Branson and just go for it.
And so you have been here now for 17 years.
Yes.
And that's how sometimes folks get to Branson. They're not even always familiar with it, really.
No, it was a big leap of faith to come here, and we came out here. We'd go every morning. We'd go out and sing at about 5 different restaurants that would allow that kind of thing to go on, and some of the breakfast rooms in the hotels, and just we're always out singing.
Let's talk about Six and what Six is, because there's people probably watching that have no idea what Six is, because you guys are different. And so to tell people what they're going to get in your show and what they can expect.
You can expect to come see 6 brothers, actual siblings. We're the only show in town that is just all brothers. I mean, there's other shows that have brothers in them, but they also have other family members or other side members and stuff like that. We're the only all 6 brother show. We're the only all vocal show, and we're one of probably the few shows anywhere that doesn't use tracks.
Yeah.
And we don't use, I mean, there's so much stuff available to do in live performing to manipulate your voices. They do it in recordings, but they have the technology now to auto-tune in real time vocals. There's not a person out touring that you're listening to on the radio that doesn't do this. So I'm not downing it. It's the technology is there. So I guess the mindset is, why not use it? If it makes it sound better, and it does. But my only lament is that I think kids and people coming up today probably don't really understand or know what actual live music sounds like.
Interesting. So when I've been to the show, folks, you feel like they're doing I call it beatbox. Maybe you don't call it that, but you feel like there's a whole band there, but it's you guys.
Yeah.
Because it's like you call it an orchestra of human voices.
Yeah, the beatbox is a popular term for, like, the other word we use is vocal percussion, and it's just mouth drumming, making all the drum sounds with your mouth, and percussive sounds with your mouth. And I've adopted the bass. I've always sang bass in the group. Well, ever since my voice changed, I moved there, but I've adopted the bass part to be more of a rhythmic bass to work with the drums and create like a rhythm section rather than just singing like a vocal bass part like you would in a choral group.
And so you guys kind of take people on a musical ride.
Yeah.
And so what are some of the things they're going to see in your show?
We hit all kinds of genres. Right now, this year, we opened the show with a Coldplay medley. We all love Coldplay. everything from that to patriotic to gospel to hard rock.
You have a Queen segment,
Queen segment,
Beach Boys segment, right?
Beach Boys segment, a Beatles segment, and we do a spoof on, because we grew up singing barbershop and the whole rock and roll thing of what we blend the two.
You call it Barber Rock.
It's and answer a question that nobody ever asked.
Yes, but here's the deal. I get it, because you were doing barbershop back in the day,
Yeah.
and you were in this punk band,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I think they tried to figure out how they combine them, and so it's
Yeah.
pretty entertaining.
Yeah.
It's pretty
Yeah,
entertaining.
I mean, it's hearing a rock song done barbershop style. It's
yeah.
we grew up just making fun of ourselves. The song that we would love to do, the best song we ever thought is Tub Thumping. I get knocked down, but I get up again. Done barbershop style. Oh, it is priceless. We don't do that in the show because ours is more focused on hard rock songs done barbershop style. But we.
So if they don't like hard rock, it's not hard rock in the show.
Yeah.
But think, folks, Def Leppard, Pour Some Sugar on Me meets barbershop. You're not going to see this, I can tell you, really anywhere else in the country. And there's not very many groups like you really in the entire world.
Well, there are a few a cappella groups that have come up since we've come to Branson. When we came to Branson, I think the whole a cappella thing was really still a very novel idea. But you've had fabulous groups like Pentatonics and Straight No Chaser and Home Free. They've had a lot of success, and then you had the whole TV or the movie series Pitch Perfect, which is funny to me. People are like, well, we love Pitch Perfect, and I'm like, oh, that's great. But it's not live. It's not live singing like these a cappella groups are. But
Okay, so tell people where you're located.
we're at the Dick Clark American Bandstand Theater, and it's first, when you come in from the 65 on the Strip, it's the first theater that you'll run into. It's a great theater, great facility. The stage is awesome. The lights are great. Got a great staff there. And the people we get to work with there are as professional as you're ever going to find.
Yep. And can you tell people your times? And if not, I'll do it later in the show.
Yeah. Right now, we're singing Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 8 p.m. and Tuesdays and Thursdays at 3 p.m. and then in November, from November to the rest of the year, it will be Saturdays as well at 3 p.m. So we'll go back to 6 days a week.
Okay. And so, guys, if you might see them driving around their Camaros. They're all real bright and flashy. That's kind of a trademark for the group now. You have all these different flashy Camaros.
Well, we wanted to make them look like Hot Wheels because we grew up playing with Hot Wheels, so they kind of have that look to them now. But
So I saw the show not that long ago. It was a couple of weeks ago, in fact, and it was a great show. It was packed in there. People were having a great time.
Yeah.
And your banter with the audience, your banter with your brothers, it all makes it fun. And guys, I'm just telling you, he's crazy on stage, and you got to go see to know what I'm talking about. But Jack's a unique individual and a unique entertainer, and I don't mean that in a bad way at all.
Yeah.
At all.
Well,
no, you do a
thanks.
great job, Jack. So.
Thank you, Chris.
Okay, folks, be sure to go see 6 over at the Dick Clark American Bandstand Theater. We'll be back in just a second to wrap the show up.
There are so many things to do in Branson. You need help planning and booking all your fun. You need iBranson.com. You can find everything Branson has to offer from your computer, tablet, or cell phone. You can even buy tickets online or talk to one of their friendly Branson travel specialists. There's no sales pitches, no delivery fees, no service fees, and no waiting. It's fast and easy. Find your fun at iBranson.com. Do it all online or call 877-ENTERTAIN. That's 877-368-3782. iBranson.com.
Hey folks, welcome back to PlayBranson. We're wrapping up the show today. Thanks for watching. Our guest this week was Jak Knudsen from the group 6, and you can find them over at the Dick Clark's American Bandstand Theater, located at 1600 West 76 Country Boulevard. They're kind of right over there by Fritz's, by Dolly Stampede. Their show dates and times are typically Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8 p.m., and then Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at 3 p.m. Now, there's some dates in November and December where that schedule is a bit different, but they go through December 30th. So you'll want to be sure to go to ibranson.com to see the exact show schedule. Now, if you need help planning your Branson vacation, be sure to go to visit ibranson.com, or you can call those folks at 1-877-ENTERTAIN. You can find the latest show schedules, attractions, and lodging options all on ibranson.com. Hey, did you know we launch a new episode every week, and it airs each night at 8 p.m. on the Vacation Channel? That's Channel 6 on Optimum Cable, or you can find us on 36-1 if you watch by antenna. And you can find other past episodes throughout the day on the Vacation Channel as well. So if you've missed one, you can find it probably on the Vacation Channel. You can also find us on social media, on Facebook, or our YouTube channel. So be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, also at PlayBranson. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time here on PlayBranson.